Lamar Jackson's second of the night there, that 20-yarder. To finish off Week 13 here of this NFL season. Welcome in, everybody, to the postgame show. I'm Colleen Wolfe with Steve Smith Sr., Joe Thomas, Michael Irvin. Congratulations, guys. We all got our picks correct tonight. I feel like that might be the first time we all swept them, so good job. Let's take a look here at the AFC playoff picture, how things stand. In terms of the Ravens, they stand the same way. They are the 9 seed still. They keep pace, though. That is the most important thing in this loaded wild card race here in the AFC. Of course, they have a big game coming up against the Browns next Monday. They do have a little bit of a softer schedule, though, so that bodes well for them in the postseason. But the story of the night was the way that this Ravens team was able to run all over this Cowboys run defense. 294 rushing yards, Joe. It was an impressive performance.
Yeah, when things are a little bit rough, and they were a little bit rusty early on in the night, they struggled to throw the football. You're going to lean on your identity. You're going to lean on who you've been for the last few years. And for the Ravens, that's a team that can be physical, that can run the football. And it just so happened that they were going against a 1AA opponent tonight. So it's good to have that non-conference opponent to be able to get back on track after a couple of weeks of being on the sideline. They had the Dallas Cowboy, what was supposed to be, I guess we're calling it a defense, but they gave up almost 300 yards on the ground. The Ravens just pummeled them nearly from start to finish, and we saw that the physical approach by the Ravens, the 4 different running back by committee approach, just wore that Cowboys defense down, and by the 4th quarter, they were ready to submit and go back to Dallas.
God, I miss you guys.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm glad Steve,
are you okay over there, man? Oh, yeah. Are you okay over there?
Oh, he is shredding you, Irvin. He is shredding you.
Stick it out, man.
There's no doubt. No. He's not shredding me. They got shredded, and he's absolutely right about that. But
oh, now you ain't Dallas,
we're
huh?
talking about the Baltimore Ravens. Well, no, they got shredded. I'm separating when you get hit for 300 yards rushing. That's on you. Now, if they win, we won. But they lost. That was on them today. You know how that works.
It's they when they lose and we when we win.
That's on them. That's on them. But when we talk about Baltimore, whenever you see Baltimore able to run the ball like that and set up their offense, then they can be tough to stop. And they were tough to stop, even though we could talk about Dallas Cowboys. Those guys get paid, too. They are professional football players, so the Ravens showed up. And it wasn't just that run game. You saw some glimpse of what you really hope Lamar Jackson can one day master as a passer. Right here, I was like, where are you going? The pocket was still pretty clean, but he moved around, and he still made a great throw. I thought it showed me a couple things. First of all, will he ever be able to get comfortable just sitting in a pocket? Because that was a clean pocket. Why are you starting to move? But he still completed the pass when he moved outside of that pocket and made a play. If he can continue to develop being able to make throws like this, then Lamar Jackson can become that quarterback that we thought he could become last year when he had some incredible games.
Yeah, it was an awesome performance. Steve, I know that you have some thoughts, though, on this Ravens team and some things that maybe you would like to see them improve going forward. It wasn't a perfect night.
No, it wasn't a perfect night, but we all talked about it, and obviously Irv is going to separate himself because of that performance,
Right.
and I understand that. It's like, look, when the teacher fails me, it's the teacher's fault. When I pass, it's all about me. I get it. I understand, Irv. I get it. But the thing with the Baltimore Ravens is they must establish the run, and that is their DNA. That's what they do. But we also talk about this team, and we use these 3 letters, RPOs. Well, they got to make sure they got the R part down packed, but they have to emphasize the P of the O's, because if they don't do that, it's going to make it very difficult for them down the stretch, and obviously in the playoffs, because like we're seeing, they play the Cleveland Browns on Monday night, and what do the Cleveland Browns do? They run the ball efficiently, and look what it's done to how it's helped Baker Mayfield look like an outstanding quarterback. No shade to Baker Mayfield, but Baker Mayfield is a quarterback that he needs everything perfect for him to be exceptional like he was this past weekend, and they need to work on that with Greg Roman. Not Lamar Jackson needs to improve, but they have to get him more comfortable and manipulate the defense to where he can have some throws down the field, intermediate and short, by making all those adjustments that they draw up these same creative plays on paper for the run. They need to do the same for the pass, because if they don't, they're going to find themselves in trouble. Yes, sir. Yes,
right.
Michael.
But Steve, you saw the plays that we were just showing, those plays that Lamar Jackson was missing the mark. You can't put that on offensive coordinator. Those are things that Lamar Jackson has to improve on if he's going to take that next step and become a big-time quarterback in this league. You got a little shadow crossing route. You got to be able to hit those routes. You got this right here. That ball just kind of sailed on him right there. Just took off. Look at this right here. These are plays. You're in the NFL. You have to be able to make those throws. You got to make those connections.
I agree with you, Irv, but here's the thing. Just like you didn't own that. I'm a former Baltimore Raven. I'm always going to give the benefit of the doubt to the quarterback and also to my guys in the Baltimore Ravens, but then also, too, he's also an MVP. So he must be doing something right. I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I've seen enough out of Greg Roman in the run game that is going to get them in trouble in the pass game. And we've seen this over and over with the Greg Roman offense, and then we've seen this with the Baltimore Ravens in the passing game against the Tennessee Titans last year.
Well, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, they got the win tonight. We're actually going to talk to Lamar coming up in just a little bit. But Lamar did not have one guy out there who we all expected to be out there. No Dez Bryant tonight. He was pulled from the field during warm-ups because of a COVID test earlier in the day that was inconclusive. He was retested at the stadium, and that test came back positive. No high-risk close contacts were identified, so Bryant was the only Ravens player removed from the game. This according to our Tom Pelissero. Dez was, however, tweeting throughout the entire game. He did let us know initially that he got COVID. Then he had tweeted earlier that he's not coming back. He's being smart. And then he tweeted this. Okay, yeah, I am coming back. So, you know what, Dez? He was trying to deal with it, trying to cope with it tonight, and we were all along for the ride with him. You can check out his Twitter feed if you want to see what else he was getting into tonight. It was pretty funny. All right, so we are moving along here on the post-game show. We're going to talk to Lamar coming up.